Hello, everybody. You know that grammar is a stumbling block for many teachers, given that it focuses on rules, which makes it usually challenging for teachers to make it understandable and fun for students. That's why we always need to seek tools to pep grammar up and make it more comprehensible, more interesting, and more engaging. Therefore, today I'm sharing with you 6 engaging games that I came up with that you can readily practice with your students in the classroom. Okay, so those games are Good Mother, Naughty Child, and we'll be explaining this, the Bee Liar, then the Scandal Monger, the Creepy Bag, the Shuffling Cards, and finally, blindfold hide and seek. Okay, so to start with the first game, Good Mother, Naughty Child. This game is designed to help students practice tag questions. You know that this rule is kind of confusing for many students to grasp the rule and to apply it appropriately, especially with young learners. So putting the tag questions in that mold of a fun game breaks the ice and helps students easily understand and grasp the concepts. So the game goes like this. First, you need to type or write statements on paper slips, divide your class into pairs, create a kind of a lottery draw for each student in a pair to pick a role, either good mother, which is a statement, or naughty child, which is the tag question that has to be the opposite form of the verb of the statement. Students who got good mother will receive the slips with the statements, while the students with a naughty child will have to come up with the correct question form or the question tag, which is the opposite of the verb form in the statement. And this is based on the statement with their peer. Afterwards, pairs stand in a circle, and when the teacher shouts, Good mother says, the good mother of the first pair says his or her statement. When the teacher shouts, Naughty child says, the naughty child of the same pair reverses the statement verb form to produce a question tag. At that stage, if the student gets the tag question wrong, teacher refers to the whole circle asking a checking question. Is he or she naughty? Is this naughty? And this is to elicit the no answer and encourage the student to think over of the correct answer. Afterwards, steps 6 and 7 are repeated with the other pairs to practice or to help them practice the rule. Then moving on to the second game, which is the Bee Liar. And the purpose of this game is simply to practice negation, and it works really well with young learners. All what you have to do for this game is that to make your students stand in a circle as well, each student receives a paper slip with a statement based on the tense or grammar taught. Then, when the first student in the circle reads his or her statement, the student standing next has to belie the statement by saying it in the negative form. And by the way, belie means to falsify or to say that something is not true. So at step 4, the student reads his or her own statement that the student standing next has to belie or negate. Steps 3 and 4 are repeated with the rest of the students. And notice that if a student gets the negative form wrong, teacher asks, is your statement the opposite of what your partner said? And this is to activate their thinking and help them think of what they said and reconsider their answer. Okay, and this brings us to game number 3, which is the Scandal Monger. And this game is appropriate for practicing the reported speech. You know that the reported speech is a kind of highly complicated set of rules, and it needs, thorough comprehension and a kind of intelligent way to help students practice those rules in a comprehensible way. So the scandalmonger game, for practicing the scandalmonger game, you need to help students or to tell students at the first desk to come up with a statement silently. He or she doesn't have to say it or speak it up, but he or she has to make that statement silently and then whisper the statement to his or her partner. His or her partner has to report the statement to the student sitting next him or her, and so on, till the statement reaches the last student in the class. At that point, the teacher asks the last student, "What did he say?" while pointing to the first student. When the last student utters the reported statement, teacher refers to the first student and then the rest of the class, asking, "Is that correct?" And this is to make sure that the statement reached the student at the back is the same as the one said at the beginning, but in a reported form. So at that point, the steps are repeated, but from the position of the last student. So the purpose here is to help students understand the difference between the direct speech, which is the statement said at the very beginning, and the reported speech, which is the statement reported to reaching the last student. Okay, so now we move on to game number 4, which is the creepy bag. The creepy bag is an interesting game for practicing possessives with all their types and forms, including possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives or the apostrophe S. So what should we do in this game? Students again stand in a circle with one student in the middle. The student in the middle is given a bag that he imagines has a rat or any creepy creature. The student negates it belonging to him by using the appropriate possessive. The student then throws it to one of the other students in the circle, saying it's his or hers. So it should be like that. He negates it belonging to him first, him or her, by saying it's not mine, it's his. Or it's not mine, it's hers, and so on. It's not mine, it's yours. The student who catches the bag does the same by first negating it belonging to him or her, and then throwing it at another student or other students. Okay, saying it's not mine, it's theirs, for example. Afterwards, steps 3 to 5 are repeated till all students practice the rule. Game number 4, the shuffling cards, and it's interesting. It's an interesting TPR activity or game for practicing structure. It works really well with all ages, specifically young learners. So here, teacher prepares a number of sentences beforehand, depending on the grammar rules taught. Words of each sentence are written on cards, separate cards. A number of students are selected based on the number of the words in a sentence. When the teacher shouts shuffle, students have to move to make a sentence or to put the words in the correct order. If the order of the words is incorrect, teacher says cards are not in place, reshuffle, till the students get the right order. The students sitting have to read the final sentence. And after that, another group of students are selected for another sentence, and so on. Steps 3 to 5 are repeated till all sentences are practiced. It's wonderful for practicing structures and helping students to grasp the structures and creating similar sentences in the future.